Alright, part 4 here. We're talking about what gives the cage positions in the regular warp guitar their uniqueness. One of them is the tuning warp. So the R goes to 3, but in the unwarped with the G, the R doesn't go to 3 until it warps over. It would go to the 4th. Okay? The other thing that gives the cage positions their uniqueness, the A is different than G, is the fact that these patterns, as they go across the fretboard, they kind of march up and down. They like, I consider them like people marching down a stairs, and as they go across the fretboard, they're marching down. Okay, so, and they kind of almost go in every other one. We talked about every other one before. Let's skip A for a second and just look at C and G, because here's the 7L pattern. Then the 7L pattern repeats. So let's just look at the two 7s, because remember, the whole pattern's going to repeat. The whole 7L pattern's going to repeat. This starts on 3-5. Okay? The next one, when the 7L pattern repeats again, now we have a 6 coming in from the top. Alright, and then this 6 down here has sunken down, the 3-5 has sunken down. And similarly, when you have the L part, you got a full S2L here, and you got the top two members of an S3S here. That sinks down. It sinks down one member every entire 7L. And that's what gives them their individual shapes. The A shape starts on the 5th, okay, and in pentatonic, okay, so the A shape is actually, what we got is, ignore the 7s and the 4s. We've got the top part of an S3S here, the top two members, frags if you want to call them. So that's the top part right here, is this little squared part. And then we go over, because it's justified over, alright, they would stack completely on top of each other if we added the 7, which is nice. Once we go into it a full scale, alright, like that. Now, why does it sound like, hey, that sounds a little mellow? What note is that? That's because the 5th in C is always a dominant. Alright? So, now if I was one of the internet guys, I'd just be playing something like, you know, but I'm not going to do that. I don't get into that too much, because you'll be going in a different direction than what you want to go for. We're not talking about rhythm here. Everybody has their own rhythm, but the thing about rhythm is, as long as you have some, it could be a little music box. You know how slow that wheel turns, right? Everybody's seen how slow the ballerina turns. She don't go like she's in the Olympics ice capades, you know, where they get the G-force going. All right, so where are we at? We're in the middle of this. So we know where we got these boxes from, and we know how they make the caged. I don't want to leave D out of the picture here. We know how they make the cage shape. So it goes C, A, G, E, D, and then it starts over again. And again, we've noticed that the 7L pattern repeats itself here. And this is a really nice 7L breakdown, because I've messed these colors up. You'll see pink where there's, you know why? Because it actually, it seemed like it almost changed hands. If you go long enough in like a super long keyboard, okay, the L's become 7s an octave later, something like that. But in this little point, we can see that the 7L is the repeating pattern. So that we see that Uh, as we go to the next 7, here we're bringing in the bottom part of an S3S, where this was flush up here, the S2L. Okay, and we had this 7 down here. We had the foot on it. Now that disappears, and we go into it. So we learned that. That's important that we learn that today. So now that we know where these boxes came from, okay, let's see if we can get back to where we were talking about. Let's see, I think we're going backwards. Okay, this is an intermediate diagram that we can skip for now. This one's a little closer to what we were talking about, but I think this pattern, this box, is today's lesson box, and I want to bring this guy up on the screen. These two guys have done a good job. These two guys right here, okay, the D and the C. All right, the D and the C actually fit to the 7L. This is a double 7L. Oh my God, a double 7L. I'm never going to remember all these notes. Just remember, it's the same pattern twice. We just saw that. We just saw that in the old diagram, right? The old diagram looks like a comic strip or something with the pentatonic boxes. We just saw that repeating. And you see how the 7L goes down, it drops down a fret, and then, so we're losing this part, we're losing what was underneath the 2. But remember, this is a pure pattern. You're not going to see something that isn't in the pattern. This is the repeating pattern. The 7L is the repeating pattern. This is the pattern shown twice. Why is it shown twice? Because we get all 5 caged on the double 7L. The only drawback is that we've got the D, we've got the G here, which is the D star. Forget this stuff up here for a second. This is just, you get these shapes by starting these shapes from those strings. But we've got the G, we've got the E, we've got the D, we've got the C, and as it turns out, the A is halfway on this side and halfway on that side. That's where we get the A. So we really do get all 5 on the double L7. Okay, and a double 7L. I've already proven that. We don't have time to really prove that because I'm not seeing that right now. We'll just get into superficial mistakes that we're making with today's, what's going on today. So I want to say that now, the 7 here, okay, the D can have a 7 symbol, because D actually starts on the 2nd, right? In the key of C, the D shape starts on the 2nd. Now, this is the D shape. It's a D-shaped C. All right? It's not the D note. It's the D shape. D-shaped C. Okay, so when we're over here, D-shaped C is really way up here. Here's a D-shaped D, the normal open string. Hey, I know this. I learned this 30 years ago. How to make a D. The D-shaped C is like almost, it's actually almost a whole octave above it, but it's a whole step below, a whole octave above that. Okay, remember the octave goes, like if we started on a C, it'd go all the way up there. Get you all the way up there anyway. It's more than just 12 frets or something like that. There's the whole steps. It is 12 frets from here to here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Close enough. 11. Close enough. So they're not that far away. If you had one of those rock guitars, they can go up even further. So what I'm trying to say is,